Outside events do not determine whether or not you will be successful. You do. The challenges thrown up by day-to-day living, particularly in the current business and economic environment, are not the real challenges of life. The real challenge lies within. As I said to a client recently, how a person acts in the face of adversity or something negative happening is the real measure of the man, or the woman, of course. And yet, all the psychological evidence proves that normal people are wholly incapable of acting. Sure, it might appear to you that you are taking action, but it's not real action, it's reaction. Because again, decades of psychological research have proved that the normal mind reacts automatically to every single event and every single person encountered in the ordinary of everyday life. Our evolved ability to do repetitive tasks automatically, so that we don't actually use some of our precious ability to pay attention, means that we end up doing everything habitually, everything automatically, everything is a reaction, because at the end of the day, if you think about it, everything in your ordinary everyday life eventually becomes repetitive and habitual. Here I am sitting here in the French Alps, 7 years living here, looking up just outside the window here at Mont Blanc. And after 7 years, to a certain extent, that has become habitual. I often have to pinch myself to realise in just what a beautiful place I live. And I practice what many people call mindfulness every day. And it's the same for everybody. Originally, you were in the first flush of love with somebody that meant the whole world to you. But after 6 months, 6 years, or 6 decades for that matter, the novelty wears off. And when you've been bouncing off colleagues at work for maybe 2 years or 3 years, well then, suddenly what happens is it becomes habitual and the attention to detail goes out the window. It's a sad fact that for normal adults, everything becomes habitual and repetitive. And therefore it is a sad fact that for the normal adult, we are absolutely incapable of giving our undivided attention to anything. Research also shows that we actually don't even bother trying to evaluate what's going on around us, or trying to get a feel for new people that we meet. We use another habitual psychological trick to ensure that we don't have to waste our energy, waste our attention on actually finding out what's going on around us. Psychologists call it categorization. From the age of about 18 months, 18 months, yes, we start creating our little pigeonholes, so that if something happens to us way back then, it goes into a pigeonhole, which is used to squeeze something else into in our adult life. We pay no attention to new people. We pay no attention to new events. They are categorized, and that psychological trick enables us make sense, or perhaps nonsense, of what is going on in our adult lives, on the basis that those categories were created for ourselves during our formative years, many, many years ago. Now, unfortunately, these so-called psychological abilities of automaticity and of categorization ensure that, as far as university research goes, almost all adults are in the same boat. Almost all. Because some people, very successful people, are off paddling their own canoe. They're not in our boat. The difference between them and everybody else is that they're paying a little more attention, perhaps not even a huge amount more. But they are not hidebound by automaticity or categorization. They give a little of their undivided attention to what they are doing and to what they want out of life. They are perhaps people who stand head and shoulders above everybody else. They are people who might be considered leadership material, people with charisma, people with presence. Now, even though all the research proves conclusively that most of us are in the same boat, wallowing around in a world where we actually don't know what's going on at all, the really, really good news is that everybody, and I mean 100% of people, you included, everybody is a born leader. Everybody was born with the capability at a very early age of paying full, undivided attention to what is going on. Now you may say to yourself, so what if I can pay full, undivided attention to maybe reading the newspaper or watching a football match? But the point is that recent neuropsychological research has proved conclusively that your ability to be happy and successful is directly correlated with your ability to pay attention. Now, as we said a few minutes ago, because we do things automatically, because we react, because we categorize events and people, we don't actually know how to pay attention. Now the fact is, as a child, you were an expert at paying attention. And all you have to do is retrain your mind through your 5 senses to pay attention in an abnormal way. Then you will rise head and shoulders above the normal, mad crowd. Then you will be a leader. Why? Because being a little more present in the here and now, you will have what normal people call presence. Presence makes people impressive, born leaders. So therefore, if you can turn on and refine your ability to pay attention, you can pay attention to what it is that you have to do now. That is what born leaders do, because they are present in the here and now. So back to the start of this little chat. As I said right at the beginning, outside events don't actually determine whether or not you will be successful. You do. You choose every time you let your subconscious mind wander away into the past. You choose failure. You choose success if you pour more and more of your attention into the here and now, not into what you want out of life, and that's a mistake an awful lot of people make, but pay attention to the here and now. Be present to the here and now. Have presence. Have presence. Choose success. It's up to you. You can have success or failure in life, or you can be like most people, normal people, and simply be horribly mediocre. Choose success. Choose success by paying attention in the here and now. At the end of the day, it's your choice. You choose.